This is Ben for Stellar Strategy Gaming, and today we are looking at the Bohemians, which is one of the new civilizations in the new DLC for Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition. Had a wholly unpleasant and sort of unsuccessful run at playing the Poles. Just did not find it to be a particularly fun or engaging civilization to play. So we're going to see if we come up with any better results this time around with these guys. And this time I waited until I was just about in the feudal age before I started recording, in the interest of making this not be another hour-long slog of a video. So you are just so welcome for that. And so far it's pretty standard. Most of the Bohemians tech upgrades and things like that don't really do anything until you're to the Castle Age. We'll have a look at their tech tree in just a second here. And as you can see, because of the way I'm playing this, I'm almost ready to upgrade to the Castle Age by the time I got to the feudal age. Let's look at the tech tree. So blacksmiths, monasteries, and universities cost minus 100 wood. Not bad. Chemistry and hand cannoneer are available in the Castle Age. That's kind of so-so. The Turks have a similar ability, and I didn't find it to be as useful as I would have hoped. Spearman line deals plus 25% bonus damage. That's pretty good. I actually like that quite a bit. Fervor and sanctity affect villagers. So when you have your monastery up, you research fervor to make your monks move faster. Your villagers also move faster. Sanctity gives your monks more hit points. It also gives your villagers more hit points. That's pretty hot. Mining camp technologies are free. Not bad. Hussite wagon and Hufnise. That is an upgraded version of a bombard cannon. Wagenburg Tactics makes your gunpowder units move 15% faster. That's not bad, especially with the bombard cannons and the Hubnibra. Hussite reforms, monks and monasteries. Monastery upgrades have their gold costs replaced by food. Also not bad. Markets work 80% faster, is only really useful in team games. Now, if we look at the tech tree, so yep, you got your hand cannoneer right there early on. Don't get the thumb ring, but the thumb ring doesn't affect the hand cannoneer. It does give you the option of making the arbalist, which is an interesting choice. Pretty good suite of upgrades for the infantry there, including your halberdiers, which are getting their plus 25% bonus. I like that a lot. The cavalry is unimpressive. And let's see, this thing does, so we'll just look at the stats there and compare it. So it has more health, does more damage. Yeah. Wow, hell of an upgrade cost though. That's pretty steep. And again, weak on the cavalry, so really not a cavalry civilization, although that does track with the historical stuff. Let's see. Yeah, the dock technologies are not terrible. University is actually pretty good. You've got quite a selection of things you can get there, so that's cool. So Bohemian unique siege unit. Units behind it receive 50% less damage from incoming projectiles. Strong versus archers, weak versus siege weapons. Looks like it has a weak attack. And the Wagenburg tactics, gunpowder, yeah, then we went through that. And full suite of monastery upgrades, which is pretty cool. Full suite of town center upgrades. Yeah, everything else here is pretty strong. So, the history of these guys is that there was a fellow named John Huss who led something like an early version of the Protestant Reformation back in I forget what year, and in the region of Bohemia, he had a lot of support, so they formed this sort of proto-Protestant state that was in opposition to the Catholic Church and the Catholic nobility. It fell apart after a while, but it was important in setting the stage for the Reformation. And a big thing they did that was important is that they developed a technique of sort of circling wagons to form a defensive ring. And so you'd have the situation where knights and stuff were trying to charge at circles of wagons, which just does not work. So they were actually pretty important and innovative in Western military technology. Get these guys to work. They were as far as I can recall, a pretty much totally landlocked kingdom, so it tracks that there's not a whole lot going on with their naval technology. Come on, give me some fish. Let's do that. Okay, so you can also farm. And build a house. These two, I'll just send them to hunt sheep. And let's see, is there any tech I can be checking out right now? We'll go ahead and do that. No, that went fast. Oh, my enemy advanced to the castle edge before me, which is not optimal. How far off am I? Yeah, it's not so bad. And we did manage to get the lumber upgrade. That's great. Get that going. And as I start building up here, the benefits of having the reduced costs for things for specifically the monastery and the university will be handy. So we can go ahead and build the monastery with just 100 wood there, which is really nice. Unfortunately, I can't automatically get the hand cannoneers. I do have to have the university up and do the research. So it's not. It depends on your view. The Turks, you had to get the castle up before you could do anything, whereas with this, it requires that you have the university and you do the university research. So it's got a few things going against it. So we'll make a couple of those guys. Go and do the upgrade. I probably should have just gone ahead and made several of those guys rather than doing it that way, but whatever. I've mentioned before in some of these videos I have a really bad habit of wanting to fully upgrade things without really having made the troops to sort of support that. I'm really putting a lot into the lumber camp right now because that's a consistent problem I have as I wind up running short. And I'm going to go ahead and make at least a couple of fire ships early on here so we can have some defenses at the coast. So we'll make a couple of those dudes so we have some kind of defense set up in case the enemy gets any ideas. Oh, come on. And even though I'm probably not going to use archers, I am going to go ahead and do the archery range upgrades, only because in addition to upgrading actual archers, they also do benefit things like town centers and castles and everything else that would get shooty at the enemy. So actually, I need to get a castle going. I have more than enough stone for it. I'm not used to having the upgrade. One of the things that can be kind of a weird challenge when you're playing as one of these civilizations with these kinds of bonuses you're not used to is that you wind up not sort of playing with it in mind that you have the bonus, and you sometimes don't take full advantage of what the civilization can do. Let's get another house going like right now. Okay, so that's still going. Got that. So we'll have at least 2 of the 3 relics, which is really good news. Really happy about that. And get this castle up. I think I'm going to put the castle maybe right about there, since that's a likely sort of line of attack. I'll put those hunters on that. And I'm going to have him build 1 more house. And I did intentionally put that in such a way that it sort of blocks off that road into where my village is. Probably not a catastrophic difference, but every little bit can help. Right, I do see those white spots on the map do represent relics, so we'll have the bulk of the relics. That'll be great. It represents a steady gold supply, which is a pretty significant advantage. Get that upgrade done. Get that upgrade done. It's really tempting to skip over those kinds of upgrades as you're doing this, because, what do I care about how fast, I don't know, wood or food is coming in. I want to focus on making knights and just really destroying my enemy. But the fact of the matter is, resource grind is everything, and if you let that go by the wayside, then you really do pay for it. Let's see, so, oh wow, that's a pretty castle. One thing I will say, both for the Poles and the Bohemians in this newest upgrade, they really did do a nice job of making like the castles. They're distinctive, they're interesting looking. It's it's kind of cool. So, get that going. I really want to get another town center up when I can. Yeah. Got attacked by whatever that thing was. Put this town center... Well, if it'll let me put the town center somewhere. There. And what do we got here? 1 more of these guys. No hurry, take your time. I can build a siege workshop now, which I should do. I don't think it lets you build cannons in this age, even with that fantastic thing that lets you make hand cannoneers, but we're going to find out. And I'm intentionally putting that university there because it helps sort of block off that pass, makes it harder to use that as a road in for attack. Alright, so yeah, still need more lumber. It takes 300 to research ballistics, which is a really important tech and one that people often overlook. Alright, so now in that case I have the thing selected where it automatically reseeds farm. Because I was out of wood, it didn't happen. Come on. There we go. And that guy got his relic, which is great. Let's see. Take 300 and 300, and those guys are... I'm just not sure what this actually does, what it looks like in battle. So I might just make one and... Did I make 2 universities? I made 2 universities, how embarrassing. I wasn't paying attention. I meant to make another, meant to make a siege workshop, but because I was talking instead of focusing on what I was doing, that happened. So, don't be like me. All right. So we're going to do that. Those guys can cut wood right there. And what technologies are we waiting on? So we'll do that. And what are we working on here? So we should be able to, yep, we can make hand cannoneers, which is kind of fun. I'm just going to send it down here and see what happens. See how it performs when it gets there. It might be great, it might be do nothing, I don't know. Got ample stone to build another castle, which is pretty cool. Let's see. Right, so it's not going to let me make the cannons yet, which is, it's certainly understandable. It would make the advantage of these guys a lot more sort of strong and definitive if... Okay, so it does attack. Yeah, it's like a... Oh, shoot, cool. So it's getting shooty at them. How much damage does it do to this building? Oh, a little bit. That's a lot of horsemen. Yeah, so, yeah, it's a siege wagon. Okay. Good to know. Keep this up. I want to spend 300. No, I do not, but I'm going to anyway, because I just want to have my units upgraded. Uh-oh, we're under attack. What's going on now? They're chasing my scouty dude. Let's see if scouty dude can kill monkey dude before he gets there and gets killed himself. Yes, he can. Cool. All right, so that little trick cost them 100 gold, which I'm always happy about. Not really game ending. They'll just send another monk after it, but, you know, every little bit. It's not optimal. So, name of the game now is I just need to keep on building up. In all honesty, it was just about surely a mistake for me to invest in the handcart, because even though it does speed things up, it costs some to get there. But it's done. I'm not going to stress about it too much. And who I'm playing against, I set the game to select my opponent randomly, and who it selected was the Bulgarians. And in this they have especially really strong, kind of a strong armor enemy, and definitely formidable. Alright, so it looks like all the relics are accounted for. They probably have 2 to my 3, which isn't a terrible ratio on my part. Going to be able to make another castle soon, so that's kind of cool. And yeah, at this point we're just trying to get there as far as getting enough food to advance to the next age. Now with the upgrades I have, even if they launch a pretty full attack, I'd be able to mount a pretty lively defense. Alright, here we go. And there we go. So I'll go ahead and have that villager help with that, because why wouldn't I? Right, so that's all upgraded. I'll make a few more of those. More of that. And more of those guys. Since I've got so much extra wood, I can pull a villager off. I'm actually going to make another barracks. And the reason why is because I want to research some of these other technologies, but I don't particularly want to stop making pikemen in order to do it. And the question is, at what point do I want to just go ahead and get aggressive and launch my full-on assault, since I do have, I have siege weapons and I have all the means to make life really hard for my enemy. I'll go ahead and build another mining camp. Okay, so that's done. Actually build another mining camp right there. Do that. Go ahead and queue that up. I guess if there's a downside to the certain technologies being free, it's that you get into this mindset of like, oh, okay, I can make this happen. I just need to do a thing, and then you realize, oh, the thing was already done. I'm just kind of stuck where I'm at, and I can't improve it more than it is. All right, so man, this is it's not really taking that long. It's just the wait is always painful. Whatever that Tom Petty song was, the waiting is the hardest part. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and launch this attack, and I'm just going to see what happens here. I would dearly like to do this upgrade, but man, getting there in terms of gold is going to be kind of brutal. Although I can make a bunch more villagers. And uh-oh. Okay, so doesn't look like this attack is going super well for them, although they are right by my castle, which is not optimal. What's going on here? Yeah, so having these sort of randomly placed castles is really serving me well because they're taking arrow fire everywhere they're going. So yeah. They decided to attack, and basically both had the same idea. Get away. That's interesting, though, how the battering ram interacts with that. It attacks it as though it were a building. Okay, so okay, get them back to work. Alright. Gold remains to be the major priority. Okay. Yeah, I'm still a long way away on that upgrade. What's it take to upgrade to? Oof. Yeah, I don't, that one's just not that important to me right now, so I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not heavily focused on monks and monastery stuff. Not saying it's a bad upgrade, just not my focus right now. I am super curious about how good or not good those cannons are. Curiosity might really be getting the better of me here. I might just be better off loading up on what I already can build. I'm a little bit skeptical, honestly, on how much of a game changer those things are going to be, but I don't mind being proven wrong one little bit. Yep, here we go. And I am just chronically bad about setting up my naval defense. Just, it is not my strong suit. Not something I'm proud of, just is what it is. So, focus there. I'm going to say I seriously doubt if these have the capacity to significantly damage a castle, but you know what, let's go ahead and attack. Let's just see what happens. Let's see here. See what's going on up here. I mean, they're doing damage, just nothing really that. I mean, it's not nothing, but it's not great. As far as this coastal stuff, it's just done. These guys away. Have them build another town center over there. And what was that? Oh, that was good timing. Go and do that upgrade. This is really not going super well for me, I'm afraid. I mean, they're experiencing a significant cost in terms of lost artillery or lost siege equipment, so that's not bad. But one problem with this is that the AI, if you let the AI do the work of, oh, that's not good. If you let the AI do the work of determining sort of where things end up, it doesn't do a great job of picking it in ways that make sense. This is getting frustrating. That actually did remarkably little damage for the fact that it was a freaking cannonball to a battering ram. This is why I don't really love gunpowder units in this game. They just, you know, for what a gunpowder weapon actually is compared to, say, a sword or something, like, it just seems like they should do so much more than they do. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead and send this on down the line. Yeah, I gotta say, I'm really finding myself kind of unimpressed here. I mean, you can pick apart my performance as a player all you want. Like, this is not, this just isn't that strong. I don't know. I mean, I play against hard mode AI all the time, and I usually win pretty handily, and this is just not quite the level of performance I'm used to in my games. Come on. Looks like we are getting the upper hand back, so that's good. What's going on over here? These are stone miners. Yeah, go ahead and cut lumber, it's fine. Yeah, and I've got another major problem here, which is that I can't really disrupt what the AI is doing while I'm doing this. And that's a significant issue. So even though this is theoretically coming at a significant cost because of the way the AI does its cheats, man, come on. I mean, Bohemians, everybody, aren't they great? You know, there's some things I could have done better here, like I could have been a little more focused on getting my navy up so I would have some defenses in that regard. But realistically, like, I did most of the right things in this, and it's not helping very much. This villager's taken multiple gunshots, and he's still up, so... Yeah, gunpowder weapons, everybody. Wow. And like with this battering ram, it's not just that we haven't destroyed it yet with these guys. It's that we can't even slow it down. So we finally managed to stop it there. So, I mean, this is giving you a pretty good idea of what the Bohemian tech tree is like and why I'm not excited about it. I gotta say, I don't know, maybe I'm missing something. You know, maybe there's something really thrilling on this tech tree that I just didn't see. But I gotta say, there's not a lot of fun happening here. With some of the other civs, you can do some really interesting and innovative thing. I'm going to go ahead and get out of this one. I could probably turn this around, honestly. I just don't care. It doesn't seem like it's going to wind up being a lot of fun either way. So we'll go ahead and get out of that. Yes, I definitely want to quit this game. So let's look at some of the other civs here. If you go with... So like, let's start with the Aztecs, right? So right off the bat with the Aztecs, you're at an apparent major disadvantage, which is you have 0 cavalry happening. So like, oh my god, how am I going to play with no cavalry? Now you do have the Eagle Warriors, who move faster than normal infantry, but they don't move that fast and they're not that strong. Got some minor benefits here. Military units are created faster. Monks do get stronger, start with more gold. And, you know, outlaw skirmishers are a little bit better. And holy heck, what is this? +4 infantry attack. So if you go all the way to champion, your guys are swinging hard. Plus relics generate a lot more gold. And then you got your, let's see, where are they at? Yeah, Jaguar Warriors. Yeah, they're basically meant to be an anti-infantry unit, which is kind of an interesting thing to have going on. And yeah, you know, it's a very interesting, very playable, very winnable civilization. You got full range of monastery upgrades and things like that. There's just because it's got this like definitive, this is how you win. It makes it a much more interesting game. Plus, you can go all the way up to Arbalest, which is not terrible. Look at another civ here. We'll do, let's say. We'll do the Vikings. Always like the Vikings. Who doesn't like Vikings? The Saxons, that's who. And the Franks. Alright, so they're actually a little bit better with the Arbalest. Now, if you're in a coastal situation, you've got obviously major benefits there. But even if you're not, you know, you've got this clear infantry boost. Wheelbarrow and handcart are free, which make them a lot more productive. And I could go on and on with it. They don't get great cavalry, but they actually have a buff that, let's see, where is that? One of their unique techs is chieftains. The infantry get bonuses versus cavalry, which is pretty cool. And then the berserkers can regenerate faster with Berserker Gang. So you can have just swarms of berserkers, you know, pillaging the countryside. Then you can back them up with Arabalests and stuff. And then you can have... Teutons are not the easiest civilization to play. But if you look at their tech tree, monks heal further, towers are stronger, or you at least garrison more units. Murder holes research is free, farms cost less. Like, there's so much going on here that makes them strong, makes them playable, and makes it very clear how you win with these guys. And, you know, so like you get all these bonuses, and then you just advance and then load up on paladins, on champions, hand cannoneers. And their unique unit is the Teutonic Knight. So, yeah, you've just got this sort of juggernaut of an army that blasts through the enemy. Ironclad makes your siege weapons stronger. Crenellations give your castles more range. And then, like another one, even things where it's not necessarily that coherent, like the Franks. Okay, so let's look at their tech tree. Now they're listed as a cavalry civ, and you can see why cavalry get plus 20 hit points starting in the feudal age. But there's a lot else going on here. Castles cost less, foragers work faster, and their unique unit, interestingly enough, for something that is not an infantry civilization, their unique unit is a ranged infantry, the throwing axemen. So while you're building up your army of Knights to launch your major attack, you can have these throwing axemen sort of holding a line against the enemy, and they can be really great for that. And the tech they get in the Castle Age gives the throwing axemen a little bit better range, and then in the Imperial Age you get chivalry, which increases your stables production. And unlike the Poles, who get a bonus to making their knights cheaper to create, you can see they can go all the way up to Paladin, and they get the full weapon and armor upgrades. So these civilizations make a lot of sense in a way that you just don't see with some of these newer civs. And I don't know exactly what it was the creators were going for. Maybe just they didn't play test it enough, or maybe there's something I'm missing here. Maybe there's some awesome combo you can pull off with Slavs and or Bohemians that makes them so much better than I'm giving them credit for. But so far, honestly, feels a little bit like a waste of $10. As always, I thank you for watching, and we hope to see you on the next one.